Hi guys, welcome to another video. So today I have a special treat for you guys. Since I work at JPM Collection in Malaysia, if you don't know what that is, check it out. We have our own YouTube channel and Instagram and everything. Anyway, in order for me to start working there, I had to assemble a certain car. Now that I've assembled the car, we've used it a lot for the tour and it needs some repairs. So I'm gonna take you along for the ride and we're going to work on this 1886 Benz Patent Motor Wagon. It's the first petrol car ever built by Carl Benz in 1886. His wife is the one that drove it, Bertha Benz, I think her name was, Bertha Benz. She drove it for 9 days. Top speed is 16 kilometers an hour. There's all the stories behind it, how people thought she was a witch and all that drama. But anyway, things we need to do on this car, it's got oil leaks, it's losing compression somewhere, petrol leaking, an overall checkup of everything. Yeah, make sure you guys like and subscribe. And leave me a comment, tell me what you think about this thing. And don't worry, I will show you how to start and run this thing after we get it all fixed. So here we go. Looking at this thing straight away, I can tell you what everything is. At the top here is the coolant tank. This there are the oil supplies for the engine. This supplies oil to the bottom of the piston and this one to the top along with the camshafts. Well, it's actually not even a camshaft. I don't know why I call it that, but where the valves are. How this valve works is just a slider that opens and closes and allows air and fuel to go inside. This is a fuel tank. This is what I would call the carburetor. The reason I call it the carburetor because this is where the air and the fuel gets mixed. It comes into the intake manifold. I can't even call it the intake manifold, but we'll call this the intake manifold. Yeah, and that's the top there is where it does the combustion. This is an igniter. It works the same as a spark plug. Single cylinder engine. It's 1000 cc's. Why? Because the piston is really big. This is technically the camshaft. This is the crankshaft. I mean, if you look straight up in there, you can see the bottom of the piston. This here is the connecting rod. This here is the battery box. Yes, it uses a 6-volt battery to power up the relays. In that box, there we go. In that box is where all the relays are. Here's the drive belt. That would be the axle. To the very right is neutral, and that in the middle there is drive. And this side, this lever here is the brake. So how it works is pretty much with this lever right here. You pull it all the way back, it brakes. You leave it in the middle, that's neutral. And then all the way forward is go. Chain driven to these big wheels. And how to crank this car is you turn this, well, what you do, you set it to top dead center and then you have to pull through it. That'll create the vacuum to suck all the fuel and the air in. And then when it makes the full rotation, it'll create the spark. That's how it'll start. Why is this so big? I get this asked a lot. Because it's a 4-stroke engine, so it needs the weight of this to continue the momentum to complete the 4 strokes. That's why this is so big and heavy. What are we going to do to fix this? Okay, first of all, my colleague has already removed, this is the valve that opens and closes the fuel supply. He's already taken that out. That was leaking. Another thing that is leaking here is the fuel level. Well, it works like the float, like on a carburetor. So when you have it halfway, that's when it's at the correct fuel supply or level, and the car can start from that. But it's leaking from that glassy area, so we're gonna pull that glass out and check it out. What else is there? We're losing a lot of compression through here, so we need to fix that. Yeah, I think that's about it, huh? These are the things we're going to do now, and I will take you guys along for the ride. Here we go. This is our first problem area. This is just the valve or the tap that opens up the fuel supply to the engine, to the carburetor. This is leaking. It leaks all from around this area somehow. I don't know what's causing it to do that. Yeah, we pulled it apart. We're gonna see if we can get someone to repair it or even replace it. But if we have to replace it, we have to order the part from Germany. So it might not be an option. We'll have to see what our options are and then go from there. Now we're going to remove the float level glass thing. This is the next piece we'll be working with. Sits like that. And like I was explaining, that this is where we see the fuel level. So in order to start this car here, we have to make sure there's fuel at least up to halfway. As long as it's halfway, then we can close the tank and then we can start the car. As you can see, coming apart, and the fuel is just leaking everywhere. So we have to see what we can do to fix this. So that's the second thing to fix. Next, compression lost from that section there. You can see the inside, it's got some very deep grooves. This is bad. This is why I'm probably losing a lot of compression. If you look at the plate that covers it, you can see some discoloration right there. You can feel some roughness around these areas actually. I'll have to see if a machine shop can smoothen these out, polish them without taking too much material off. Alright, so I just called the machine shop. They said they can polish these. I don't think I'm going to machine them because I do not have the clearances for this. I don't know what the minimal or the maximum clearance is, and I don't want to play with that. So we're going to send these just to get polished. This is the piece that goes onto the engine. This is the one that slides back and forth, and this is the cover. So all of these these 3 pieces are going to get machined. I mean, sorry, not machined, polished. We'll assemble back and hopefully the compression won't be too lost. So that's the next step. And the plan for the glass is my colleague is already cleaning it up. Bottom and top housing, we're also going to just clean them up. And what we're going to do is see if we can get a piece of fuel line, cut it, and make it like a little thin gasket. And then hopefully that will seal up and they can install it and it won't leak anymore. So that's the plan for this. Hopefully that works. We'll go from there.
Is this too thick?
I think it should be okay, but it's not
Yeah,
straight. It's very
yeah.
uneven, huh? So it needs to be at least as straight as possible. Here we have that tap for the fuel supply. As you can see, it's just normal tap which opens and closes, and what has happened is the same as everything else. You've got some worn out grooves all around the shaft here, and same inside there. Fortunately, this is too small to do anything about it, so just gonna sand it down and put it back together. These things already, my colleague has already cut up some hose and made it into a seal, so they're ready to go. We need to put the glass in and then tighten it up, and that's it. This, I'm just gonna get some sandpaper and then just sand it down, make it smooth as best as I can, put it back in. Nothing else I can do. Alright, after sanding the tap, trying to get it a bit smoother, it didn't work. It's still going to leak. We're going to order another one, but within the time that we have, cannot, because we have an event coming up on the 11th. This is still going to leak, but it's okay. We can work around it until we get a new one. Window is now sealed. We had to take off the gasket from the top because it was too thick, and with the space that we have there, it wasn't allowing to sit properly. So we took the top seal on and we just kept the bottom one, and now it's okay. It doesn't spin, so I think we're okay there. Valve has been sent off to the machine shop to get polished. We're not going to machine it because, you know, we don't know the tolerances, so we can't mess with that. We get it back tomorrow. After we get it back tomorrow, we're going to put oil in, we're going to go put petrol in, and we're going to start the car. We'll catch up with you guys tomorrow.
The next day.
Alright, quick update. Everything is back together now. The valve is already back together. Fuel level back in. Tap is back in. So we're going to put oil in it now, put some fuel in it, and see if she will start. Straight away, you can see that it's leaking. So I was correct that was going to happen. I knew it because not much I could do to repair that. Just sand it down a bit. It was already very scratched, scored, so bound to leak. And it looks like level glass is leaking worse than before, so yeah, we're gonna have to fix that. Okay, that's actually worse than before, so we have to pull it apart and try again. We have managed to stop it from leaking. As you can see, we've managed to prevent it from leaking. So in order to stop it from leaking, we had to use a couple of O-rings on the bottom and on the top of that glass cylinder thing. We used a fuel injector O-ring, go figure, huh? To stop leaking. So now we're going to put some oil in the oil supply, so I'm going to start this car for you. So here we go. This is the oil supply for the bottom of the piston, and this is for the valve that we just replaced. So this one's pretty important because we just got it polished. How this works as well, these oil supplies are just gravity fed, meaning that fill them up and they drip onto the bottom of the piston. So this one just drips directly onto the bottom of the piston, and this one just drips directly into the valve area. So, and that's how it works. Coolant as well, one tank that sits on the top of the actual block, and then when it gets hot, instead of having an overflow bottle, it leaks straight out. Everything on this engine just goes straight to waste, unfortunately, but that's how it was designed. So let's start the thing. How do you start this thing? First, you connect the battery. Then you have these nipples here that are full of grease. So you open them up, and what happens is when you open it, it sucks the grease up, and then when you tighten it up, it pushes it in. You do that with all of them here. And then for the crankshaft roller bearings, you have a little pump action right here. Then we turn on the oil supplies, 1 and 2, and then we turn on the ignition, which is just here. The ignition, all it is just a little bolt that you unscrew, and then it closes the contact. And that's this one right here. And then we open up the choke. Now we check if it's got power running through it, because when you close this contact here, which is for the igniter, you hear the relays buzzing. So, and she's ready. Alright, so ready, here we go. Oh.
2 hours later.
We made a little bit of a mistake. We forgot to add a breather hole on one of the gaskets that we made. Therefore, it was just flooding the engine. That's why it wouldn't start. We've made the breather hole, oil up everything again. It might take a couple of times to start, but this time it should definitely start. So here we go, ready?
Eventually.
Attempt number, I don't know. So we're running a test to see how long it will run before it starts overheating. So far we're running it at 2 minutes. Believe it or not, this car is going around Sepang Circuit. That's a 5.5 kilometer track. And we need this to survive that whole lap. Already 3 minutes and we're seeing some drops already dropping off. We have to wait until we see steam coming out. That means we're out of water almost and nothing but steam. So we're timing that. I have to keep adjusting the choke for it to run smoother. So yeah, that's the only thing I've been doing so far to try and maintain the... Oh, now it sounds better. So yeah, trying to maintain this rhythm. See a bit of steam and a constant stream of water right now. Alright. So it's really spraying some water right now, so there we go, see? Alright, I'm gonna turn off. It's maintaining. Oh, okay. Alrighty. You hear that? See that? That's all the steam coming from the engine already. The timer, I stopped it at 12:47. And of course I didn't start the timer immediately. So once I got the car running, then I had to get my phone, start the timer. So technically it ran 13 minutes. I had to adjust the choke a little bit just to make sure it stays running. But yeah, I think she's good. 13 minutes. If you can't get around 5.5 kilometers in 13 minutes, I think I need to do the calculation. According to the history, this can run up to 16 kilometers an hour. It takes a long time to get to that speed, but yeah, I need to calculate so how much 16 kilometers an hour to get 5.5 kilometers. Hope you enjoyed this video. This is something different. Ben's patent motor wagon, the first petrol car ever built. Anyway, guys, that's it from me. Make sure you like and subscribe and leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about this thing. Anyway, that's all. Thank you. Bye. Take care. Peace. Bye. All right. So my workmate did the calculation, and he says that it will take us 25 minutes to complete a whole lap at Sepang. If you ran 13 minutes, by the time it started overheating, that means we're not gonna make it. I wonder what the boss says.
One shift later.
So box, 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 box. Stop.
Go.
This is the only pit stop in the world where the driver can drink coffee.
Okay.
F1 team probably is like having lunch right now. Done? Yeah, let's go!